We're here today at the Pilar Bahde Wildlife Center, also known as Project Wildlife. I am Carly and I have my friend Kate with me today, and we are going to be taking you guys on a virtual tour of our wildlife center. Now normally this is completely off limits to the public. Unfortunately, just due to the sensitive nature of wildlife and our patients, that we don't normally allow people to come into the center. So this is a really awesome opportunity for you all to see a little bit of behind the scenes of what we do here. Also, you may be seeing a nice little donate button right there. So all the money that you donate today is all coming right back to these animals, helping us out. Lo and behold, we have overtaken in over 7,000 patients this year alone. So we are super busy. We would love your support. We took in 110 animals one day last week. So we are full blown in baby season. And so anything that you can help us out with, my friends, that would be terrific. I'm so sorry I'm touching my mask. It just keeps falling off the more I talk. But follow me, and if you have any questions during the tour, please go ahead and put them in that chat box, and we're happy to answer. Real quick, when you bring a wild animal patient here, we have moved our intake to outdoors. So not only to keep you safe, to keep the staff safe as well. So if you bring an animal, you're gonna make sure you wanna keep it warm, dark, and quiet. And then we have staff out here that will meet you at this intake desk. You'll fill out paperwork, we'll take the animal from you, and then you'll get a little paperwork back with you as well with an ID number. That ID number can allow you to call in or email us, and you can find out the status of that patient and whether they're on their road to recovery or what we've been working on with them. So this is going to be the area where you drop your patients off. So we're just going to walk around and hopefully don't trip on anything. We'll come in through our doors, and hopefully we keep you this whole time and we don't lose you on the internet connection. But if you do, we'll come right back. Oh! We have a skunk, and it's intense. So this area right here that you're gonna see, you guys, this is some of the these are the towels that we're gonna wrap the patients in, the back skips that we're gonna put some of the smaller birds in. If you bring us a baby squirrel or a cottontail rabbit, they're gonna go in these little critter carriers. All of this stuff is up on Amazon too, on our wish list, that you can go ahead and buy and have it shipped right to us. We can always use this stuff. As you can tell, plastic can sometimes break really easily, and so once the patient gets taken in over here in the front area, they're going to come through here, and I'm going to kind of talk a little bit quieter, so I'm going to try to stay close to our camera person. So this area that you see right here, this is going to be the intake room. So on this stack is where the patients are going to hang out and rest. So we don't automatically get our hands on the animals when they first get dropped off to us. It can be really stressful to take a ride in your car and maybe hear that radio. So if you do find a wild animal patient, you want to keep it quiet. You don't want to have the air conditioning on too high or the heat too much. Warm, dark, and quiet. Get them into us. We're going to let them sit here for a little while to calm down, hopefully de-stress a little bit before they're going to take them back to our state-of-the-art exam area, our treatment center right over here. So come on, follow me, Miss Lauren. We're also super lucky. This is our medical supply area, so we have meds on hand. We can actually run fecals here now as well, so that's actually really great because it helps our path of our patients go much faster. If we can take the fecals ourselves, we can go ahead and say that they're okay, that they don't have any parasites, and then they can move on to the next room. So this is awesome, my friends. So what you're getting to see is live action. And then we also have a few other vets over here helping us out as well. Exam of the patient, they're looking at wings, they're looking for hydration level. We actually have an x-ray room back here, as well as a surgical suite. So our own veterinarian can perform surgeries right here, and he has performed a ton of surgeries coming to wing breaks, helping snakes, helping remove hooks and fishing line from some of our seabirds. Lucky we have this here. It only increases the patient care that we can provide for these animals. and again, hopefully get these animals out back to the wild as quickly as possible. Keep on following me, saying hello to all of you. This room you guys see, so what you're gonna see are towels covering a lot of the enclosures. Again, that's to help with these patients in here. We're gonna make sure that care with our vet team. So they might have just come in, they might have had a surgery, so kind of like when you have a surgery, you're gonna be in an area where the nurses are gonna be checking on you pretty constantly. That's the same thing as critical holding. Specialized room, it's only for the veterinarians and our vet team that are gonna be working in this room. Once the animals get a clear barrel of health, they're pretty healthy, they might still need help eating, and they're gonna get passed on to our animal care specialist, our wild animal care specialist. Come with me.
Hi everybody, you can come right on through here. Sorry, Laura. Welcome everybody to the main animal care portion of Project Wildlife. So as you can see, there are several designated rooms for the different species that come in and even the different ages that come in. You'll notice the room that Lauren just showed you over here is usually our mammal room. However, we had to sort of move around where different animals are. So our mammals are actually in a bathroom over there. We'll see them in just a second. This room right here is now going to be used for any rabbits that come in, because if you all paid attention to Carly's episode a few weeks ago about the different rabbits and the different diseases that are affecting them right now, we're having to be really careful about any bunnies that come in. So they're going over there and it's sort of a little quarantine zone. But we are about to go into our wildlife nursery to see some of the different patients we have. So come on in here. So this is our nursery, and this, as you can see, is where all of the different baby birds come in. So most of the patients that Project Wildlife gets in are birds. So it's about 80%, and you can see all of these different enclosures are filled with baby birds of different species, different ages. Depending on what kind of bird they are and how old they are, some of them have to be fed every 15 to 20 minutes. Some of them are fed every 30 minutes, every 45 minutes. And Yesenia over here is actually feeding some right now. And you can see they're always so excited for their feeding. So you can see those beaks open up really wide. They have those big yellow beaks that sort of are a signal to when mom comes to feed. It's saying, feed me now, I want food, I'm hungry. And most of these birds will keep eating as much as you give them. So as you can imagine, here in the nursery, it requires lots and lots of food, lots of staff and volunteer support, and lots of care to make sure all of these baby birds are being taken care of and that they're growing up nice and healthy and nice and strong. A little PSA for everybody watching. A big reason that baby birds come into us, especially this time of the year, is because of tree trimming. So we want to make sure that everybody is being really, really careful with trimming their trees right now. Just this past weekend alone, we got in several dozen baby birds from one particular place because people decided to start trimming their trees. And guess who is in those trees right now? All of these little baby birds. So we want to be really, really careful. If you can, maybe just hold off on trimming those trees. Wait till later in the year when it's fall and winter and these babies have all grown up, fledged, or learned to fly and are on their own. But for now, we want to be really, really careful when we are going into trees and trimming branches and things like that. Also, just so you all know, birds actually do not just learn to fly from the nest. So a lot of people come across a baby bird that has left its nest and is learning to fly on the ground, and they think, oh my goodness, this baby bird still looks really, really small. I should pick him up and bring him to Project Wildlife, when really that baby bird is learning to fly. And it's a totally natural behavior for him to be on the ground for a few days, even a few weeks. And usually mom and dad are still taking care of them. So we want to make sure that we're only intervening on wildlife when necessary, so that when they do come here, Yesenia and all of our other amazing animal care staff are taking care of the ones that truly need our help. So as you can imagine, this nursery is incredibly busy, especially this time of the year. Some of the babies that need a little bit more heat and a little bit more support are in these incubators, as you can see. However, some of them that are a little bit older are going to be in these cages where they still have some heat lamps, but it's just not as intense as a brooder. So once all of these little babies are taken care of and they're a little bit older and we know that they're growing properly, they will actually graduate to their room. So follow me that way. Thank you, Yesenia. are gonna go right over here to our bird care one room. You can follow me in here to find it. So this is where if a bird comes in and they're maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit more self-sufficient, or if they've graduated from the nursery and they're a little bit older, they come here, and as you can see, this room is really, really open. So we have this really big garage-style door that can open up, and it allows these birds to sort of start to get acclimated to normal weather, outdoor conditions, light fluctuations, things like that. Of course, at nighttime, we roll them all back inside and close this to make sure that they're safe. But during the day, they get to experience the normal weather, and we can actually get a little bit closer to see some of the different birds that we have. So some of the birds stay here just because they're not quite big or old enough to be put outside in a bigger aviary. Some of them are still on medication, and they need to be close by to our vet staff and watched really closely. But for the most part, these ones are sort of intermediate care. So it means they're sort of on that path to becoming ready to be released, and they're learning how to feed on their own, and they are becoming little adults of themselves. So we have some really, really cool different birds. And over here, Lauren, I definitely want to show you. We have these big bins where there are ducklings, and you can see, here I'll let you take a little peek in. You can see we have some ducklings inside. So cute. Remember, ducks do not like bread, friends. If you ever see ducks in a pond or a park, please leave them alone, and no feeding them bread. It's not very good for them. I know I have never seen a duck walking into a store buying bread, so it is not natural for them to be eating that. So we want to make sure we're always leaving them alone, as well as all of the other wild animals that we see outside. And then I also want to show you guys a really cute other small animal. These are our little baby gulls. And I'll open this up so you can get a closer look. Because most people have never seen baby gulls and their little chocolate chip cookie heads that they have. They're cute little freckles. So they look completely different from adults, but we get these ones in all the time as well, especially during this year. And they love their fish, which Miss Emily is actually petting it out. She's actually feeding one, so we can come see her feeding this little guy some fish. So obviously all of the different animals that come in eat different diets. So for example, gulls, of course, because they're always by the beach and by the coast, their parents will feed them lots of fish. But the birds that you saw in the nursery are eating more specialized formulas, maybe even an insectivore diet. So they all have really specialized care. And we want to make sure that they're all getting exactly what they need. So this little guy is thinking, I just want all of the food, give it to me, I'm getting bored. So he is so cute. So again, this is how you all can support us. If you wanted to donate, all of that money comes back to help this little gull or all those little babies, those ducklings you saw. All of that helps us so much, and we appreciate it more than you know. So thank you, Emily, for showing us the little baby gull. Now we're gonna keep moving, because there's plenty more to show you, so follow me this way. Holy smokes, it still smells like skunk in here, so I'm glad you can't smell it. So here's our enormous, beautiful kitchen where we are preparing all of those specialized diets, and we're making sure that all of the animals get the proper nutrition and the healthy food that they need to grow big and strong and heal so that they can eventually be released back out into the wild. And we have incredible volunteers who come and help us every single day with animal care and making sure that these animals are well taken care of and on their road to recovery. So thank you so much to them for being here. So we're going to keep moving this way. There's 2 more rooms to show you, and then we're going to head outside really quickly. This room is our bird care 2 room, and this is where other adult birds go. We're not going to go in there just because we want to focus on the room over here, which is mammals. But over here, we do get in some of our gulls. Well, they'll stay here, some of our ducks, but specifically our corvids, so our crows and our ravens. And if you all remember, Miss Carly did an episode all about corvids, our crows and our ravens, so they're really special birds. They will all go here. Sometimes we even have a mama opie or opossum and her little babies or other adult opossums. So that room is, again, just to make sure that all the animals are getting the care that they need. They're staying inside if they're not yet ready to be outside. But in here, you can walk right through, is our mammal room. Now, typically, this room is actually supposed to be housing raptors. I don't know if you saw the sign by the door, but as you can see, this is just all squirreled. There is no owl or falcon or hawk here. The reason is because we wanted to make sure we were giving the animals lots and lots of space, and our original mammal room is really small. So we wanted to give the animals lots of space, and we also wanted to make sure our staff and our volunteers were able to social distance and stay safe and healthy, so that's why we sort of had to move around which animals go in which room. But as you can see in our mammal room, the animals we get in most often are going to be our little squirrels, like you're seeing right here. We also get in a lot of cottontail bunnies. We get in lots of baby opossums. So they come in all the time throughout the year, but again, especially during baby season. We get so many of them. So we always want to make sure, like I was talking about with the baby birds, we never ever want to baby nap or steal babies from the wild when they actually really don't need our help. So we always want to make sure that we're doing our research and we're asking questions and we're contacting Project Wildlife before we ever intervene on an animal, especially a baby, because a lot of times they don't need our help. And you can actually show some of the outdoor ones. A lot of the times they don't need our help at all. And of course, we want all of the babies to stay with mom and dad for as long as possible, because mom and dad squirrels are definitely better parents than we are to a squirrel. So as you can see, we have some different habitats, lots of different enrichment wheels, and of course, plenty of things for these animals to hide in. These are some of our antelope squirrels. They're definitely more rare, and they're quick little guys. Hello. So you can see they're starting to run around, they're shaking their tails, they're doing their little defensive behaviors, so we will walk on by. And over here we of course have plenty more squirrels. This, believe it or not, friends, is actually this room at really low capacity. So even though it looks like there's a lot of animals in here, we usually have dozens and dozens more. So right now it's semi-quiet. Part of that is because some of them they're in satellite care or they're in other places, but for right now this is actually pretty mellow. And again, I just want to reiterate that we're always doing our research before we are ever intervening. And if you do ever find a sick, injured, or orphaned wild animal, we never ever want to try to feed them because these animals require really specialized diets. And sometimes trying to force feed them foods that are unnatural for them can actually make their problems even worse. It can make them even more scared and more stressed. So we never want to do that. The best thing to do is to just keep them warm, dark, and quiet and get them down to us at Project Wildlife as fast as possible. But you can see we have lots and lots of very cute mammals in this room. So now we are going to be joining this Carly event, and we're going to show you some of our outdoor spaces as well, because it's a very important part of getting these animals ready to be released.
So before we head out there, guys, I just wanted to show you, this is our database that we keep records of every patient that comes in. So you can kind of see from the start of the year and how it's growing through the year as we're going on. So June 15th, we took in 119 patients that day alone. That is a record for us. Believe me, we're not trying to keep breaking that record, so it just means a lot of work. But we've taken in over 7,000 patients through our center so far. So we're super lucky that we have Project Wildlife here in San Diego. We are a resource for San Diegans, and believe it or not, wildlife rehabilitation centers don't exist everywhere. So we're super lucky that we have this place, that we have such dedicated staff and volunteers. So let's head on out. Oh my gosh, you guys, put a camera on the staff out here and everyone ducks for cover. No one's used to it. So part of the job is cleaning. So if you've ever wanted to volunteer or work with animals in general, cleaning is a huge part of it. So we want to make sure that we're disinfecting everything, that we're making sure that everything is nice and clean, that it has to go back into the animals. Spread of disease is super easy to happen, especially in wildlife care. So we want to make sure we're doing everything possible. No, I'm just kidding. You can't come right now, unfortunately. We're not bringing on volunteers, so hold tight. We will probably be doing more volunteer onboarding towards the end of the Oh, they love the Project Wildlife stuff. So one thing that Project Wildlife is super lucky to have right now are these outdoor cages. It's part of the process that we haven't always been able to give these patients. So this whole stack right here, these are all ponds. So this is where our ducklings can go, our gulls can go. We can make sure that they're going to get water tested, that they can make sure that they're going to be able to waterproof those wings, and that we'll be able to release them when they're ready. So actually having self-draining ponds is a huge win for us. This huge cage right here, this is one of our flight cages, and it actually can break down in half. We can put patients on one side and patients on the other side, or we can open it up if we have a hawk or maybe a bigger crow or one of our bigger birds. So again, we want to make sure that they're able to get lift when they're flying. and this is the perfect space to test them out in. And so this is a huge, huge area that Project Wildlife is super lucky to have. Again, increasing that speed of when the animal comes into Project Wildlife and when we can get them released and back into the wild. That's the ultimate goal. I'm so sorry, I keep eating my mask. So, all the money that you guys donate to Day of Giving, that's happening at the end, look, that's in a week and a half now, right?
About a week, yeah.
Day of Giving is one of our biggest fundraisers for San Diego Humane Society, my friends. The money can come right to Project Wildlife as well, so hit that donate button. Help these wild animals because we're really here to help them as well. We're here to help educate the public as much as possible, teaching people when they should intervene, when they should leave animals alone. And my friends, the biggest word we love to use is coexisting, learning to live together with our wild neighbors. I don't know if you fell in love with any of them that you saw today, but they're super special. We love our wildlife here in San Diego. We hope you do too, because they're super amazing animals and they all have great benefits that they provide for us. But Friday, you guys want to tune in on Friday? What do we have going on?
Yes, we're going to be having, sorry if you can't see this, the wind is not cooperating right now, as per usual, but we're going to be having a virtual adoption event where we're going to be showcasing some of the different animals that are up for adoption both at the San Diego Humane Society as well as with some of our rescue partners. So you're going to maybe potentially meet your new family member if you tune in, or at the very least just get to see some really, really cute animals. So definitely come back on Friday to meet some of our incredible partners and meet some of the animals that are looking for amazing homes. So I hope you all have enjoyed this behind the scenes tour of Project Wildlife.
Next Wildlife Wednesday, it's going to be our last one, my friends. We're so sorry that we're going to be tuning out now, but we're going to have our Great Horned Owl ambassadors. So you're definitely going to want to tune in next Wildlife Wednesday. But come back on Friday, check out those adoptable animals. We're super excited that you guys are joining us. Thank you all so much. So from Kate and I, bye everyone.